turn off the AC. I think like my previous class is quite full, which I don't blame you, right? You're like, no, I know better than that. Okay, let's go to 37. I'm gonna go over this one, fill this one in completely, and then I'll give you one to try on your own today. No AC, so today is just like, let's see if I can figure this out by myself. Where did this all start? It started with figuring out your payment in this case, because remember, guys, listen carefully, this was completely blank, right? It was a completely blank. So this is how you fill in a complete, like a blank amortization table. It's an X-ray of what happens to each payment. So the payment stays the same once you figure it out. And then you have to use this formula right here. So you know what? I think it's worth on my study sheet. So let's say this is my study sheet. I'm just going to show you what could work for you. So I would maybe have, okay, very small, right? Amortization table like this. And then I would maybe have like payment, interest, principal, unpaid balance. Something like this. And maybe just something not like it shouldn't be taking up too much space, right? And to get this one, I would just say I is equal to unpaid balance times interest rate over 100. So this is my study sheet. It's not, it doesn't have to be big, right? I can read that. So I'm just going to zoom that in, right? That's how I'm not using up a lot of space, right? So that's okay there. And then to fill this in, right? To get P, I would just go payment minus I to fill that in. And then to get your next unpaid balance, you just go minus P, and then you get that answer there, right? And you know what? I'm just thinking of it now. This would be unpaid balance 2, right? Like I consider the very first one as like unpaid balance 1. And when you subtract the principal, like this P here, you now have a new unpaid balance, right? Then I go over here, maybe one more line. So for now, you can just like scribble this down somewhere and then later make a nice copy of it. And then you go unpaid balance sub 2. See how what I did there? Right? And I'll just go, right now, I'm just going to go rate divided by 100, all of that divided by 12. And the cycle continues. This goes on and on and on, right? So I don't know if you want to have, oops, okay, this technically goes like that. Payment, you know where the formula is for payment. This one I would put an equal sign on top. It stays the same, right? The payment never changes. What happens to the interest from one month to the other? It actually drops. The principal therefore goes up. And the unpaid balance also should be decreasing over time. So I don't know if you want to tell yourselves, you know, as small as possible, have an amortization table, because more often than not, it shows up. And you know what? You could probably make an arrow from your payment formula that you have for loans, right? You can make an arrow to this, connecting to this, right? That's how I would find the payment if I didn't know what it was. How else can you find your payment, guys, without the formula? These two always add up to your payment, right? That's also true, right? If you know both of these, if there's a number in each cell, add these up to get your payment. So I'm actually going to say this, the trifecta, right? So payment can be found by doing this, adding these up, or using the formula, right? Loan times table rate over 1,000, like that one. So payment can be found both ways. So hey, I've never done this before, but here it is. This is for you, right? If this helps you, I'll probably clean this up a little bit, make it nicer, but scribble this down somewhere. I mean, it's on the video too. So all right, I can move this now, right? That's for you guys. I'm always thinking of how can I make your lives a little bit easier, but I can't do everything, right? I can't do it all for you. So let's see. I want to make sure I have this right because I did make a mistake. I think, okay, we're good. We got to here. So your new unpaid balance comes with you over here. And to get the interest, we go 9,476, 11, 4.25% divided by 100. It's not always 4.25. It just happens to be the case for us. Divided by 12. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go like YouTubers usually do. If you need more information on how I did the previous two lines, you got to go watch my other video, right? That's why you probably lost. So in this case, it's 33.56, which makes sense. It's slightly less. 33.56, right? I will tell you this, the bigger your payment, the bigger these numbers are going to be at first. If you have like an $800 payment, you might pay $100, $200 interest at first. It hurts. It hurts. And then once you have this, right, this minus that, so you go 296.90 minus 33.56. I would like you to just, maybe you won't remember every single step, even when you graduated, but I think if you know that, you know, your payment breaks down into two pieces, I'd like you to remember that. And this is 263.34, which then, right, now officially I'm showing my work here, and you should get this number here. This is how much you owe after 3 payments. After 3 months, you'll be owing $92.1277 on the dot. Okay, I'll say this. These numbers, if you compare to your bank, might be slightly off because they use a spreadsheet, like they use all decimals. So sometimes it's off by a cent or two, but it's not significant. Sorry. Okay, next, this is what I need you to understand. Go under, this would technically go on to, how many years are we talking here? 3 years, right? The loan was for 3 years. Look on the, this was a 3-year loan. So if you do monthly payments, how many payments are we making? 3 times 12, 36 payments. So ... 36. This would still be 296, right? 296.90. But everything else, right, would be different. Hopefully, guys, what should be here in this last cell here on your last payment? 0, right? Hopefully. And I will also tell you this, in reality, the last payment is often less than what you agreed to. It's whatever is left over. So let's say you owe $80 for your last payment, then your last payment is just $80, right? So that's what it is. Okay, I'll help you understand it even further. How about this? You know how I kept on saying How much interest did you pay on your first month's payment? $35.42, right there. But what if it's asked, how much did you pay in total over 3 months? And this is just really 3 months times 296.90, and that is $890.70. Over 3 months, you've paid almost $900 worth of, like, from your pocket, right? How much interest did you pay over 3 months? Well, $35.42, show this work, $34.49, $33.56, and there we go, guys, $103.47, right? So $103.47 is 3 months worth of interest. How much went towards principal in the first 3 months? You can, watch this, guys, you can either take the total payments you made, subtract all of the interest that was paid, or you can add these 3 cells. It's up to you. So I'm going to go 890.70 minus 103.47, and that's 786.23. So your breakdown over 3 months would be that. So I hope you understand what I just asked there. If I asked you, hey, how much did you pay the first 2 months? How much interest did you pay the first 2 months? Hey, I know what I'm supposed to do. Add the 2 numbers here. How much principal did you pay the first 2 months? Add these 2 numbers here. How much do you owe after 2 months? 940, right? 94.76.11. So you need to be able to understand this table. These 2 always add up to your payment. Remember that. These 2 add up to your payment. So if I don't know this, and you do know these 2, right? You can just, these 2, you can just subtract and get the interest, right? So there's something true within the table. You just add and subtract, basically. Once you figure out the interest, you just add and subtract. Okay, go to page 38 now. And I want you to try one by yourselves, okay? So no AC today. This is in lieu or instead of your AC. You do this so that if I throw one at you, so I don't know, 5-8 minutes, right? Give it a try. You have the notes. Next page. Just to make sure we have 2 full examples. So monthly payment, just watch me, I guess, now, right? We're borrowing $3,000. There is no down payment or anything like that. You don't have to worry about it. 4.5 at 4 years, that is 22.88 over 1,000. That amounts to a payment of $68.64 per month. Right? That is in fact going to be the case every single month. Right? So that would be step number 1. To get the interest, you look at your study sheet. You're like, okay, I'm starting with $3,000 owing. I'm going to go 4.5% divided by 100. All of that divided by 12. That amounts to $11.25. And it makes sense. Based on your payment, it's a reasonable amount, right? Principal, I just go 68.64 minus 11.25. That amounts to 57.39. Okay, so the rounding, I guess you have to watch out with the rounding. That could still be a bit of a pain, but, and so this is what we subtract the unpaid balance by. Okay, so there. So 3,000 minus 57.39. There you have it. That's the first month. The Let me zoom in a bit more. There we go, that's better. So now we take this number with us, repeat the process. So every time you see percentage in math, divide it by 100. Think of the two zeros and the percent. Think of that as, oh, that's 100, right? 2 zeros. It's per 100. So this amounts to 1103 rounded. And then it's 6864 minus 1103. That amounts to 5761. So the 5761 gives you, right, the 261s amount to exactly 00. Dollar signs, if you want full marks, make sure every entry has dollar signs. One more time, 2885, 4.5 divided by 100, right? Divided by 12, that's 1082. 6864 minus 1082, that is 5782. So this is slowly supposed to go up. This is slowly going down. Minus 5782. And here is the grand finale, 282718. Phew, right? And then let's answer these questions here. How much interest did you pay over the first 2 months? That'd be only these two numbers here, right? So 1125 plus 1103, that is 2228. You just added up these two cells right here. How much went towards the principal in the first 2 months? I'm just going to add up these two here. 5739. This one plus 5761. There we go. That's $115 exactly. And a blast from the past. Watch this one here. You may not know how to do this, but I'll tell you. Calculate the total interest paid over 4 years. Oh, total interest, isn't that TI? You were right. TI is payment times 12 times 4 years in this case, minus, what's my loan? Go all the way up there, all the way up here. Whatever you used in front of that payment formula, 3,000. So we're gonna go, I don't want you to forget about this one. This is gonna give you the total interest paid. So this is 3294.22 minus 3,000, and that ends up being 294.22. Is it 72 or 22? Sorry guys, I need to check this. I can't read my own writing. It's 72, sorry. That's better. I grew up in South America, and this is how we did our sevens. And when I started teaching, everybody looked at me funny when I did my sevens like that. It comes in handy when you mess up, right? You make it a 7 like that. I don't know if you've ever seen it like that, but is that an F backwards? Anyways, that's it for a full empty table. And I'm running. Were you copying? Copy. Yeah, go ahead. Let's go. I'm going to show you a partially filled in one. Partially filled in table. These are actually, I think I like these way more than the blank ones because they're partially filled in. You just need to know what to do with it. So that's on 39 at the bottom there. I'm going to put a big heading on that, partially filled in, because students always want to do this. They're like, no, I have all my formulas, I have this is what I'm going to do. It's like, no, not if it's partially filled in. You don't need to do that. So let's go to 39 at the bottom. So this is partially filled table. Have that there. Okay. Let's make it stick out. There you go. Just add or subtract cells. That's all you need to do there. Okay, just add or subtract cells. If you know how this works, you will know what to do. So for example, the first row, filled in, filled in, filled in. How would we get our new unpaid balance? How would we get this cell? What did you use to do? Whatever was here, you would subtract, right? That's it, Mr. Dirksen. It's almost too easy. Yeah, that's all that there's to it. So fill that in. 28. The thing is, we mix it up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Of course you do. Of course you mix it up, right? So there's that. So that would be a 1 marker, guys. That row would get 1 mark for getting this right. Let's go back to this one. 2 empty cells. However, we know that these two add up to our payment, right? So I'll do this. Go up here with me. This is your payment. I and P, lowercase I and P, always add up to your payment. So to get the interest here, don't use that formula that I gave you. All you need to do is 569.54 minus 404.18. And I'll tell you straight up front how I make these. I have a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. It fills it all in for me, and then I just blank out some of the values, and then I give that to you. That's how I make these. So you subtract, and then you get 165.36. Boom, you got that. Another mark. Guess what? How would you get this one here? You already know how to do that, right? Minus 404.18. Do that. Subtract these two on your calculator. You get 27,943.99. Right? So you took this value, right, and you just brought it up there, just like you did before, except for you would show a whole bunch of work in here, but it's already there, so you don't need to do any work. You just need to know I need to subtract it to get my new unpaid balance. And this is the trickiest one of them all. Oh, actually, no, this one isn't bad at all. Here, this is kind of what we're used to. Payment is there, interest is there. Find the principal, right? You just go this minus that to get this. So you go 569.54 minus 163.01, and that gives you 406.53. Then you take this number and subtract it to get your final answer, and here you go. Okay. So all you have to do is know that there's things I need to add or subtract to get that empty spot. That's all that there's to it. All right. I'm going to park this here. I think we're tabled out already at this point. So I'm going to come back sometime at some later point maybe and say, hey, try this one. We haven't done this one yet. So come with me. I'm going to stop this. We're going to